Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment at the end of this message. Today's message is titled The Narcissist at Work, Love Bombing, Devaluation, and Discard. Some individuals don't think about the narcissist at work, that self-absorbed, arrogant, it's all about me type of individual. Instead, they just think work is just work. But there are some psychological tactics that individuals will use in order to get people to behave, in order to get people to accept a position for very low pay, in order to get individuals to pretty much toe the line. Narcissists. Some of you all are quite familiar because you were once in intimate relationships with narcissists. Thank God you are free. You have reached out, some of you all, and talked about this over the years. Others, you are still in relationships with narcissists. God is still doing a work or two. And before long, one day, you will be either free walking out the door, free through death, free any way that you possibly can be free, because you have had enough. And we will continue to lift each and every individual in prayer concerning those who are still connected to, talking to, working for, being intimate with narcissists. During a holiday season, you will see that the narcissist typically is on his or her best behavior at the workplace and elsewhere. And the reason for that is because, well, of course, there is that potential that you're going to buy me or do for me or promote me or help me out. The narcissist looks at his or her life as one of significance. Because I know the right person, because I did for you, and now I need you to do for me. The narcissist doesn't mind doing some very manipulative things in order to get what he or she wants. On this channel, I have quite a few audios and videos about narcissism, so please do select the one that best suits your situation. Now back to the narcissist who is at work and feeling quite good because he or she has gotten what he or she wants. There is a bit of love bombing that takes place because you are in the narcissist's view. You are going to be tended to. They may even go so far as across the line and rub on your back, touch your hand, your arm, make you feel a bit comfortable, right? Because you are the favorite. There may be some flattering speech about how good you work. There may be even some promises to help you out, to hook you up. The psychological manipulation that is done, unfortunately, some of these narcissists have been abused themselves. They've been used, they've been devalued, they've been discarded. And so they have learned from the worst of them how to behave when they want their needs met. When one is, let's say, for instance, a narcissistic manager recruiting to get individuals to work for him or her, of course, you've got to attract bees with honey. You're not going to be the person who's going to say all that is wrong with an organization, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to recruit individuals to work for you. But some people are a bit over the top in their recruiting efforts, and you almost feel like you're in some type of relationship, if you will. A very dysfunctional one, because over time, all of the love bombing, the favoritism, the flattery, the promises go away. When I took a look at Wikipedia, love bombing is defined as an attempt to influence a person by demonstrations of attention and affection. It can be used in different ways and for either positive or negative purposes. Psychologists have identified love bombing as a possible part of a cycle of abuse and have warned against it. It has also been described as psychological manipulation in order to create a feeling of unity within a group against a society perceived as hostile. Those individuals who don't like individuals who are enlightened, spiritual, discerning, what they will do, those that are narcissistic, when they know that you're on to them, they will gravitate to individuals who they don't know, aren't very perceptive, aren't very discerning, and will perceive you as the hostile one, the troubled one, the troublemaker, the one who is difficult, will nitpick, find fault with, joke about, criticize. And those that are listening to the narcissist who's offended by you, by your light shining in darkness, they'll just laugh some things off. They'll think that, it's no big deal. They don't realize that slowly but surely the narcissist is trying to win them on their side. They're trying to get them to be loyal to them. They're trying to keep the truth from coming out. They don't want you to see maybe some of the shady behaviors that they are participating in. I thought about the cults that had leaders that were narcissistic who love bombed them in the beginning. I even thought of those who recruited me when I was fairly young to participate in their various business ventures, religious groups, and so forth. And there was this love bombing in the beginning, and it was coordinated. It was very organized. It was under direction by a leader behind closed doors on how to talk to this one, how to get information, how to use what you learn in order to get that one to be a part of the group. Okay? It seemed almost too good to be true how they were treating me. And it was, because once the interest faded, or once I asked too many questions, or once I realized that it wasn't a good fit for me, they were off to love bombing someone else with their flattery. And as Wikipedia says, their verbal seduction and being quite affectionate, not sexual, but just being a bit more touchy and attentive. It hurts when you know that individuals are being deceitful, fake, shady. It hurts when you realize that the recruiting isn't because I genuinely care about you and I love you and I want what's best for you, or maybe for some it is. However, there is the bottom line, and the bottom line is I just want you to work. I just want you to do what you're told. I just want you to be that individual that's not going to give me lip. Some of you all, you're quite familiar with those types of work atmospheres, aren't you? Because once again, when you question, when you act in that way that they don't want you to act, when you're more observant and maybe you're not asking so many questions, but they can see that the wheels are turning, they have to throw you off. Maybe we're going to go back to love bombing again. Maybe we're going to go back to promising the sun, the moon, and the stars because this one is on to us. Some of you all, you remember love at first sight. Some of you all, you got love at first sight when it comes to work. Oh, I just love this place. I just love everything about it. I think it's a great, wonderful opportunity that I've always prayed about until it isn't. Until it isn't. I'm praying though, and I'm asking the Lord to guide me, because sometimes you see the flesh overrides the spirit. When I went into an atmosphere and I noticed that there was this love bombing that was going on, and I saw the artificial, I saw the fake, I said, I've got to guard myself. I am going to show who I really am, at least for a moment, catch a glimpse of who I am. Don't take my kindness for weakness. I'm no fool. And when I did that and then went back to my bubbly self, I will tell you that the game changed. And the fake wasn't as fake. And some individuals knew, oh, she's not that one that I can get away with saying just about anything. I better be careful. Exactly, because you want me to work here, don't you? You want me to produce for you, don't you? Then don't play games with me. Be honest. Be upright. Don't be the individual that is deceitful. But the demonic, though, that is in and around some individuals, they can't help but be who they are. When you are the victim and the love bombing is over and they have their new supply, this is where they don't value you so much, because you're not giving me all of what I want. They underestimate your worth. They may do it even though you do. You do have a lot of education, awards, recognition. You do know a lot, 20, 30, 40 some years in the industry, what have you. And that's all the more reason why the jealous narcissist is going to look for ways to devalue you, talk over you, act as if you don't know anything. Everybody is so stupid and so dumb but them. This behavior, though, is what drives some people out of organizations. They may not tell the managers or the upper management about what is happening, because, to be honest, I'm just not going to lend over my time and energy to the ignorance, to the stupidity. I'm not going to take up time to argue with you about somebody who you recruited that is a narcissist, you see. Because there is the why that goes on. Why is it that so many people leave an organization? Or why is it that this particular department doesn't do so well? Or why is it that this person just tends to lose so many people as quick as he or she recruits? Because issues have not been resolved before they bring people in. Those common problems, the things that could be solved, haven't been dealt with. The narcissists are still running amok. No longer feeling that you are important. No longer seeing the benefit of doing the job. No longer being a part of the organization because you ask too many questions. And so somebody is using and abusing and devaluing, and now here comes discard. Let's throw this one under the bus. Let's throw this one away. Let's get rid of. This person is no longer useful or desirable. We've got new supply. We've got someone who's going to be the type of person that is more of a cultural fit than others. When you have the victim who sees what's going on and begins to redirect his or her attention, you know what? I can get my answers from someone else. I can do what needs to be done to help out someone else. I don't have to deal with this person. I don't have to work for this organization. I don't have to be in this department. That one that stirred up the pot, if you will. The narcissist whose new supply now isn't as fulfilling as maybe the old supply is coming back around asking, how are you doing? Is there something I can do for you? Here comes love bombing again, but oh, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. And when you are firm, difficult, stand your ground, that manipulative one is going to show anger and passive aggressive behavior and no more love bombing and accuse others of being selfish and anything else that he or she can come up with, because the narcissist lost. The narcissist can't feed off. The supply is no longer beneficial. The probability that we could have been is not there. Victims, when you don't do as you're told, right? You know, those of us who were once victims, there is this reaping season. When you expose the abuser, there is whatever they can come up with to devalue you, to discard you. The abuser or abusers that I've come across over my lifetime, they withdrew their affection. That was punishment. They didn't use positive reinforcement to encourage me to do better in what it was that they felt I didn't do so well in. They instead felt like it was better to punish me, to control me, to keep me on my square. They used their tactics of shouting and belittling, using mind games and silent treatment, and even putting their hands on me. And I made up in my mind as I was getting older and learning from functional individuals that I was not going to go back to dysfunctional, and that in order for me to solve my issues, I wasn't going to go back to the abusers to solve them. Even though those who had not been abused said, but that's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your whoever. It doesn't matter, because there comes a point in all of our lives that we recognize things for what they truly are. And we don't repeat the cycle with those who we are responsible for. Those that did get out of the matrix, those that are no longer the victims and are survivors like me, we have great dialogue. And they have their titles, but I'm not concerned about titles. I'm concerned about the spirit of a man, of a woman, of a child. And when you know that people, as I speak right now, have broken spirits, what can you do in order to make things better? You can do your share of apologizing, but then you can also do your share of service. And at the workplace, when this sort of thing goes on, those that know that they're in the wrong, they will apologize and they will promote, and some of them will do us the honor of leaving the job. Thank you. Thank you so much for your resignation, because you are a problem. Thank you so much for not staying. We look forward to your replacement. When the individual who is the narcissist is saying things like, oh, you get me, or, oh, I feel you, or I understand, or all these other things that they will say. When you say to yourself, though, but do you really get me? Do you really understand where I'm coming from? And then you kind of quiz them a bit. Let's say, do you really understand my management style? Do you really understand why I'm having difficulty in this department with this individual? Do you realize the atmosphere that we're working in and why we really need to get some things done? If you could spend some time with us and work with us on A, B, and C. Oh, I get you. I understand. Yes, absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. They get high on the I get it now, or I understand now. But where's the action? Come on. Where's the action? I'm trusting in God that this person is going to get it, but not lip service, but service as well. actual physical, get down and dirty kind of service. When the manager, supervisor, whoever this person is at the workplace that I'm speaking of, when they feel like you need the job, this is why I tell some individuals, stop with that, telling people you need a job. Because the narcissist is going to take that and run with it. The abuser and user is going to take that and run with it. Never make people feel like you need the job. This is a side income. This is a hustle. This is something that I'm just curious about. This isn't my bread and butter. You see. But as long as they feel like you're not going anywhere, now we're going to see the real person. We're going to see the difficult, the abusive, the manipulative manager, supervisor, coworker, investor, business owner. But I thought she was nice. I thought he was easy to get along with. The pimp, the player, the hustler, they all use power and control tactics to get what they want. Just because that one looks nice, acts nice, behaves in the way that you think is, dare we say it, a good person, does not mean that sooner or later their mask is going to fall off. As some of you all are embarking on this journey of newness, for you, a new job might be the best thing for you because you're tired of the struggle, the battle, the workplace abuse, the bullying. And people always have an excuse as to why they act the way they act, don't they? And when you complain to others, sometimes you walk away feeling like you're the bad guy for even calling some folks out on their issues. And there's nothing wrong with showering someone with a compliment or compliments here and there. Because we all want to feel good at times, right? I tell you how good of a worker you are. I tell you that I appreciate the things that you are doing to move this organization forward. You are one of a kind, right? It's a beautiful thing to hear those sorts of things. But when you're dealing with the narcissist, it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like they really, really sincerely care about your efforts and what you're doing. When you're dealing with a narcissist, sometimes they don't even look you in the eye. They look away from you. When it's real, it feels good. It feels genuine. You even feel yourself doing better. But when it's fake, you find ways to get away from folk. When it's fake, you don't want to do as well as you should. And so we're just believing and trusting and hoping and praying for good things ahead. We want individuals to be around functional human beings. Yes, we have our share of dysfunction here and there, but we want at least 85, 90% functional. Can we get that? But as we see things for what they are, don't let people put the mask on your eyes. Don't let people tell you that what you see isn't what you see, and what you hear isn't what you hear. And no matter who they talk to and who they attempt to win on their side, if they want to be so gullible, those that are listening to the narcissist want to be so gullible as to believe whatever they hear, so be it. But you're a smart individual. You're intelligent. You see the fool for who the fool is. And for some of you all, God is not going to allow you for much longer to put up with this. That is the victory. That is the encouragement. He's not going to allow you to continue to keep going through. That's why there's more exposing going on. That's why you're getting tired of putting up with. That's why you are looking everywhere but at that job as your future. Because deep down inside, you know that you've had enough. Narcissists, they look for new supply. They look for new victims to use and abuse. They won't miss you when you're gone. But for some, they will, because the new supply will never be as good as you are. But don't be no fool. The narcissist is going to start that cycle all over again. Love bombing, discarding, devaluing, doing whatever he or she will do, because you'll remind that narcissist once again of all of what you've gone through with him or her. And they're going to want to not be connected to you as a result. Oh, you reminded me of those feelings that I didn't want to have concerning you. Oh well, on to new supply. Bye, narcissist. I thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube, NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. We do welcome giving on this channel, and thank you.